Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Fortuna Report. Today, I will address Mormonism and the influence of other religions or so-called religious practices, and how they may relate to Chad and Lori Vallow Daybell and their criminal cases in Idaho and Arizona. I will further delve into these comparisons more later. Also, I will share information focusing on Neo-Gnosticism from Ordo Templi Orientis, O.T.O, to Scientology, thereby showing how these practices compare to Mormon doctrine and ideology. The content is primarily derived from UB Urban, Department of Comparative Studies, Ohio State University. Title: The Knowing of Knowing, Neo-Gnosticism, from the O.T.O to Scientology. Warning: this episode is not for viewing by children under the age of 18. This report is for educational purposes only. Any opinions herein are mine and the authors within the published works. For those not familiar with Gnosticism, I am providing a brief description below. Definition courtesy online of the Free Dictionary by Farlex. The beliefs and practices of pre-Christian and early Christian sects, condemned by the Church, especially the conviction that matter is evil, and that knowledge is more important than faith, and the practice of esoteric mysticism. Quote, see also, mysticism. Of particular interest, as noted by the title, are the Ordo Templi Orientis or O.T.O and the Church of Scientology, both new occult and neo-Gnostic, or modern forms of Gnosticism formed in the late 19th and mid-20th centuries. Founded by Theodor Reuss in Germany in the 1890s, the O.T.O described itself as a form of Gnostic neo-Christian Templar religion, with sexual magic as its secret primary focus of ritual sexual practice. British occultist Aleister Crowley was its most famous leader. Crowley developed a full-weight Gnostic mass for the adherents. In 1935, an Agape Lodge was opened in Southern California. A man named Jack Whiteside Parsons, a rocket scientist and magician, began the rituals called Babylon working. He wanted to take Aleister Crowley's works to the extreme. Together with Lady Babylon, these two, in his mind, would produce a child called the Magical Child, who would be the Messiah of the New Age. Parsons' cohort was L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Hubbard even performed as a scribe for secret rites, channeling the voice and the name of Lady Babylon from the ethereal. Hubbard became the vessel for Babylon, speaking as the beautiful but terrible being who is flame of life, power of darkness, destroys with a glance. She may take thy soul. She feeds upon the death of men as beautiful and horrible. Suffice it to say that every holy thing in Christianity allegedly was soiled and twisted to satisfy the people who weren't or adherents to O.T.O and Scientology. Note: refer to the Tom Cruise movie Eyes Wide Shut. Within this film are many clues to this lifestyle. A young woman named Marjorie Cameron became Parsons' Lady Babylon unknowingly, and they were married. The relationship between Cameron, Parsons, and Hubbard was short-lived. Crowley warned Parsons that Hubbard was playing him for a fool, and this was soon borne out as true, because Hubbard ran off with a former girlfriend of Parsons named Sarah Northrup and a large sum of cash from Parsons. Later on, instead of realizing his dreams for the occult, Parsons blew himself up in his lab during an experiment with explosives. Hubbard went on to be the founder of Dianetics in 1950, and then the Church of Scientology in 1953. While lecturing in 1952, Hubbard often referred to Aleister Crowley as my very good friend, also known as Beast 666. Hubbard went so far as to compare Crowley's magic with Scientology techniques. Hubbard often referred to Scientology as a Gnostic religion or faith. Scientologos is Latin for Scientology. He as much as claimed that Scientology was a mix of many legitimate and ancient religions. He also claimed that salvation could be had through knowledge rather than faith, ritual or good works. In a nutshell, in the beginning Theta was separate from the physical universe. Theta had no energy or mass, time or location, it was simply energy. At one time Thetans were godlike, celestial entities, possessed of their own distinctive individuality and created and controlled their own home universes. Note: this sure sounds a lot like Chad Daybell's philosophy, which led him to tell Laurie that she was a goddess in every sense of the word and that she had a mission to help along the 144,000 when the time came. The following seems very much like the alleged cult of Chad Daybell. In LDS doctrine, the goal of each adherent is to receive exaltation through the atonement of Jesus. If a person receives exaltation, they inherit all the attributes of God the Father, including godhood. Mormons believe that these people will become gods and goddesses in the afterlife, and will have all power, glory, dominion, and knowledge. Mormons teach that exalted people will live with their earthly families and will also have spirit children. Their posterity will grow forever. The goal of Scientology training, called auditing, is therefore to free the Thetan from its entrapment in the material world and so reawaken its unlimited potential. As Hubbard defined it, Scientology is simply knowledge and its application in the conquest of the material universe. In Scientology there are several levels of training. As you go up the ladder of training and auditing, it gets more and more costly. Members are often asked to get e-meter readings in order to assess if they are telling the truth or just getting information from their bank. The bank is considered a negative connotation referring to the reactive mind, which, according to Scientology, is irrational. From my experience, the e-meter is a device that is linked with two empty cans that the member being questioned holds in each hand and answers questions put to them by another more senior member who reads a reaction on the e-meter. If the needle on the e-meter goes one way or another from center, it indicates the mental state of the member being questioned. Indeed, the fully realized operating Thetan is said to have godlike powers, including the ability to exteriorize or travel at will outside the physical body, to manipulate the MEST universe, and ultimately even to create its own universe. MEST is matter, energy, space and time. As Hubbard put it in lectures from 1952 and 1954, the operating Thetan is a person who is able to create his own universe, or living in the MEST universe, is able to create illusions perceivable by others at will. OTs, that is operating Thetans, are considered to handle MEST universe objects without mechanical means, and to have and feel no need for physical bodies or the MEST universe. The powers are purported to be godlike. Note: this sounds awfully like Laurie Vallow Daybell allegedly, who considers herself a goddess, and that she did not need to eat or wear clothing, and that she is impervious to physical harm. As such, the Gnostic influences within Scientology have been progressively covered over and obfuscated, in short, subjected to a new kind of esotericism, a new concealment of powerful but dangerous secret knowledge. Certain occult practices, according to Dan Fogel of the University of Illinois Press, tell of Joseph Smith Sr. and Joseph Smith Jr. using a mineral rod and a seer stone. These are known as scrying and divination, and are occult practices, in order to try and locate treasure on his and others' property. Joseph Smith also had a set of spectacles composed of seer stones. He had names for these stones which he called Urim and Thummim. He said that, through these stones, he could translate the golden plates that are the stated source of the Book of Mormon. Smith also had a favorite brown stone that he would put in his hat and then put his face in the hat and read miraculous reflections from this stone. I believe these occult practices originated with the Hermetic schools, primarily the O.T.O and the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn led by Aleister Crowley, known as Beast 666 at one time. Perhaps these occult practices found their way into offshoots of the LDS Church, and possibly even the alleged Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell cult, usually made up of LDS members or former members. Father, Joseph Smith Sr., and son both approached a man named William Stafford whose property they had an opportunity to dig on, and, at that time, told Stafford that Joseph Jr. had found some valuable and remarkable treasure. He then asked Stafford for one of his black sheep, in order to make a blood sacrifice to rid the location of evil spirits. Along with all Joseph Sr. digging for treasure and the use of occult means by direction of the angel Moroni to locate anything that would justify his efforts, it appears that he claimed to have found the infamous golden plates. The golden plates were discovered in 1823 and removed from the mine in 1827. Subsequent to the location of these golden plates, fellow miners and associates of Smith tried to take the plates from him. However, after Smith translated a small portion of the plates, about 1/3, the plates were given back to Moroni. Although the plates are commonly believed to be part of a Spanish gold cache, they are still believed to have been of divine origin. The golden plates were believed to be Reformed Egyptian writing according to the Book of Mormon. Therefore, this allows members of the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS, to interpret the Book of Mormon as a legitimate book from Joseph Smith. Postscript. This has been a brief overview of this particular subject. There is so much more that needs to be unraveled, and I will offer those reports as they surface in my research. I think that there is sufficient content here to make the information understood. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, share and comment. I want to thank all of you for listening. I would like to thank Murph and their voiceover feature, as well as their excellent and easy-to-use app that enables these podcasts. Thanks to Dan Lebowitz for the musical soundtrack, Twilight Train. Thanks to Pexels and LDS for images and videos. Photos in order. Practice of pendulum foretelling, Aleister Crowley and wife Maria, Ordo Templi Orientis O.T.O Lodge Emblem, Young Madam Blavatsky, Older Madam Blavatsky, Witch of Endor 2 O.T. Bible Ref. 1 Samuel 28:23-25, Old Home, L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, the next 3 Jesus exercising and healing. The last are photos of a recreation of the Joseph Smith metal plates, and Smith translating the plates, and Joseph Smith in stained glass kneeling before Moroni.